up, everyone? Welcome to Level 7. We got another episode of the Agents of Fandom podcast. We had a fun one yesterday talking Andor with Jamie Jirak from comicbook.com and Phase Zero, as well as Agent Jaden, cameraman Duran. But we're back with a more regular crew today. I'm back with my co-host Garrett. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, man. It was fun to I was working late. That's why I missed it, but I got to sneak into the back half of the live stream, and I love watching Jaden work, man. It's incredible to see how far he's grown since he's joined with us, and it's really nice to know that, if either of us ever have something going on, that we can just call him up and slip him in, and it'll be like either of us is there. So it's really comforting. I'm really proud of his growth, and really proud of our whole team, really.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Jaden came on yesterday, and the first few times he was on the pod, he did a great job, but he was kind of quiet, kind of laid back. And yesterday he was really coming into his own, and he's really doing a great job. I'm proud of him as well. But we got some special guests as well here today. The very first time on the pod from the Listen 3000 podcast, we got Cesar, we got Zen. How you guys doing today?
Good, man.
Yeah, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah, for sure. Excited to be with y'all. Thanks
sure.
for having us, man.
We are super excited to have you guys on. I know I've seen you guys following our stuff for like a long time from the distance, and I'm super excited that you guys reached out and we were able to set this up because, like I said before we started recording, it just felt like it was a long time coming, and here we are.
Definitely,
sure,
yeah.
It's gonna be so much fun. We got to keep it going too.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
Sure.
I don't even need to see season 1. Let's renew it for season 2.
Right, right with you. Right.
I'm with you guys as well. I'm so happy we finally got to do this link up. And before we get started talking about episode 6 of She-Hulk, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, follow Agents of Fandom on all the socials. And it's Agents of Fandom everywhere except for Twitter at Agents Fandom. So make sure you check that out. We got lots of great interviews and articles coming. Check out the store as well. And just today I posted my interview with David Hayter, the voice of Snake from Metal Gear, as well as the writer of 2000's X-Men movie. And we basically spent our whole time talking about Kevin Feige because that's where, of course, he got his start in Marvel as well. And they had a meeting at the beginning of the pandemic, and so we talked about that, so make sure you check that out. I also talked with Madison with a Y and 2 N's, but not where you think, Patty Guggenheim, of course, of She-Hulk, and that was a great one as well, so make sure you check out agentsofandom.com. But let's get into it. Episode 6, She-Hulk. We got a nice contained wedding episode, as Jen told us at the beginning. But before we dive into that specifically, what I want to know what the Listen 3000 crew thinks of the series as a whole so far.
You go.
I'll go.
Cool.
Yeah. It's been good. It says it's up and downs. I feel like they drag certain things out, but it's a fun time. You know what I mean? Nah, it's definitely a fun time. Like after every episode, like, I'm satisfied for the most part.
It sounds like there's such a butt to what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not fully convinced.
You want to throw it in there?
I mean, that's Marvel has an issue with the shows so far. To me personally, on how they execute certain things, but okay. I'm taking it for what it is. It's a sitcom, it's a comedy, so
Right. Okay. I like the take. My take. I've super enjoyed it. We always talk about like the rest of us. Anyone that loves Marvel stuff, like we like it regardless. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, some part of us is going to like it because we're going to keep watching it. So that's always there. But no, I really do enjoy this. It definitely in the beginning, I wasn't hit with the whole like, oh, this feels like a sitcom. I was really just in it, and I was like, I love new Marvel content. I love this show. I love the characters we're getting. At this point now, I'm slowly like, oh, I feel I'm getting hit by the 30 minutes, but it isn't bothering me as much as I thought it would, which is good. Because I just feel like the show is written really well, and everyone's portraying the characters good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. What about you guys?
This was actually one of the first episodes for me that I really felt like, oh, damn, it's done already? Like, it just really ended. It ended real quick. I wanted a little bit more. Garrett, what have you been feeling for the run times? I feel like we've had kind of similar perspectives on the shows so far. Like, for taking it what it is, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Like, are there other things I wish they'd maybe be diving into? For sure, but at no point have I been sitting there like, this is boring. What about you, G?
I feel like I could watch the show in like 2007 at dinner time with like commercials through the
Right.
whole like half hour thing. Like I want it to be The Office. I want it to have like 27 episodes a season, and like it's a because that would make the 30-minute or like less than 30-minute like 25-ish minute runtime feel much more palatable because you're going to be getting this for a couple months every week, and that's but knowing that the end is coming up, it's in sight, that definitely it's hard because it is so fun. I wanted to if it was an hour show, I'd be having fun the entire time. But again, in my opinion, we've gotten a lot of great Marvel shows like that. Have there been issues with them? Of course. But overall, I think the batch is really good. And so I've said this a million times. I'm going to say it again, but whatever. I'm not looking for each show to top the next. And because this one is just a fun ride, I'm ready to go. And we also have like, what also makes it easier is we have like a shit ton of amazing things to watch right now, like no end of it. House of Dragon is, and we haven't really talked about this on many episodes yet, but like House of Dragon is amazing. I'm in love with it. Lord of the Rings is just to go on a quick anecdote. I've been trying to get my partner Nina to watch Lord of the Rings with me for like months, like years, since the beginning of our relationship, since the pandemic. And she's like, no, I've had like 5 boyfriends in the past try to get me into it. It's just not my thing. I'm just not down. It's simple. So it was a losing battle, but I got her to watch the Lord of the Rings show, and she's like, episode by episode, she's getting into it. And I pulled the trigger last night. I was like, babe, I think we're ready to watch Lord of the Rings again. We started up where we left off, which was right as Frodo is taken into Rivendell and the water like smashes the Nazgul in the river. You guys know what I'm talking about. And she was invested the whole way through, and now she's like, are we watching Two Towers tonight? So no shortage of amazing TV. Sorry for the rant, but that's what makes it feel a little bit better.
True.
That was needed. Don't you be sorry at all.
I'm glad y'all appreciated that.
Sure.
I think I'm going to have to try and dive into... I've already committed. I've decided I'm going to dive into House of the Dragon, and if it's something I've decided I'm enjoying, then I'm going to do the full Game of Thrones watch. I was going to start, and then I was late, and my roommate convinced me to start it, and then he was so disappointed watching the end, I just never got around to it. And so I've been told by everyone since that like the journey is worth it, and one of the only reasons why the end was so disappointing for a lot of people was because you were sitting there waiting years for it, and then it just didn't quite satisfy, and when you binge it's better. So I'll get around to it eventually. But the Rings of Power, I think I will as well, and we got lots of content on both of those shows on AvalonAgentsOfFandom.com. But what annoys me with Lord of the Rings is it should be my thing. Like, it fits all the bills to be my thing, and it never really has been. I've read the books, I've watched the movies, and it's been like, yep, this is all right. But I think I will give Rings of Power a try, and if it revamps my interest, I'll rewatch the movies again. But one thing I want to plug quick, because it's one of the funniest things I have ever seen. It's a video on YouTube by an artist called Tom Cardy, and it's called The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of It's My Book, They Will Walk If I Tell Them to. And you can just Google like Fellowship of the Walk, and it'll come up. And it's a video kind of making fun of Lord of the Rings, and it is just absolutely hilarious. So I really recommend it. Even if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, like you'll like it even more because of all the Lord of the Rings references throughout it.
TJ, I've never told you this before, but like I've never actually admitted this on the podcast or told anyone before, but like my thing as a kid was like was Lord of the Rings. Like I watched Star Wars. I loved Star Wars. I watched my Marvel stuff. I loved it. Watched my Yu-Gi-Oh, watched my Pokemon. I loved it. But Lord of the Rings was shit. Like always my shit. So I'm a little disappointed to hear that.
Okay,
I hope
are you hurt right now?
I'm a little bit hurt. I hope for
Man.
me that you will invest some time into this for me. We'll get over this. It'll be a mend. I'm gonna stick a band-aid on it for right now so we can get through the rest of this. But just know that I'm a little surprised and a little hurt.
Oh man.
Deal. That's fair. I will do my best to try and get into it. I will say my favorite Lord of the Rings content I've ever been in like engaged in was the video games for GameCube. Two Towers and Return of the King are just elite.
Yes.
Elite games.
Absolutely.
It's time for us to talk about She-Hulk. You know,
Let's go back to
dive
She-Hulk.
in a little bit to I feel like something that is a misconception that whether it's the Marvel series as a whole or She-Hulk specifically are waiting a little bit too late to introduce a villain. And the reason why I'm thinking that is because I think this arc has been foreshadowed since the very beginning. And I'm going to get into more details of some theories that I have that I think could be weaved together regarding that. But at its kind of base, we saw in episode 2 there are people out there. We saw our wrecking crew who are out for She-Hulk's blood. They emphasized that specifically in the previously on leading up to this episode, and it was something that was touched on again at the end. And I think that's something that's sort of been a long time coming, not just something they're bringing in now. But before we talk too much about that, this was an episode a lot of people were expecting Matt Murdock to show up. It was teased with the mask. I'm of the opinion that while I think it was reasonable to expect it leading up to the episode, as soon as we saw Jen's intro of, you think this is an inconvenient time for a wedding episode? Weddings are always convenient. It's inconvenient for me too. This is going to be a nice contained thing. At that moment, for me, was when you need to drop all expectations, take it for what it is, and enjoy it. And for that, I actually loved this episode. I thought it was fantastic. Caesar, what about you?
Honestly, it might be damn near word for word what you said. I didn't expect to see Matt Murdock. Yes, the tease at the end of the last episode, like that makes sense. But also, why would they give us? Why would I just wasn't expecting it so early? You know what I mean? With them teasing it so hard, like with the promotion and everything, and him just being such a big character. But yeah, so personally, I wasn't expecting Matt Murdock. So when I saw everyone losing their mind, I was like, oh. I'm sorry for y'all. I had a good time. But personally, I think I ended at the end of the episode. I was like, I think that was the best episode so far. But I wasn't. I can't tell you why though. I just really enjoyed it. Maybe exactly what you said. Like it was what it was, and I feel like both of the storylines that they had going through with the what's his name, Immortal Man,
yeah.
while also with the wedding and everything with Titania, and then her maybe possibly finding somebody new in that episode too. Like I felt like I got enough content from her that it didn't even affect me about anything else outside of what was going on. You know what I mean? It had me interested the entire time. Yeah, I thought it was really. It might be at least I was the most entertained by this.
Okay.
Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I definitely. I kind of was expecting him a little bit, but but no, it's just that's another thing to look forward to now. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I did have fun on this episode. I love the Mortal Man plot. I love the wedding thing. It was a fun time. Yeah, so that really didn't hamper my expectations on it. Like I did want that, but I'm not like that we didn't get it.
Gotcha.
Nah. Because we gonna get it. You know what I mean? It's coming. So yeah.
Yeah,
So this
I
is
agree.
a character we have to dive into, and Garrett, I'm going to throw it to you first for this one. But Craig Hollis, Mr. Immortal from comics, I believe they called him Immortal Man in the show. This is a character that I feel like not too many people realize in their bloodthirst for Daredevil. We kind of missed that. This is a guy that is technically a mutant. He's technically a level above a mutant and is if we're Homo sapiens, mutants are Homo superiors, and he's what's called a Homo supreme, which means he's evolved past the state of mutant, and he's not even in a classifications of mutant because he literally can't die. And he's been in tons of Marvel shows before, and this was slipped right in. So, Garrett, I'm curious, did you realize the magnitude of the character when you were watching? And secondly, what did you think of his arc, and specifically with um, Ginger Gonzaga's character Nikki and Mallory?
Well, I'll tell you what, I had no idea of the magnitude of his character until just a second when you did the research for me, which I appreciate. That's really interesting. For me, I was like, in every episode so far, there's like a critique of a type of male, and so for me, this was just like another play on that. But I love that's a double thing. I love what we got with Nikki and Mallory in this episode. Like when she first gets into like the meeting and she sits on like the side chair, and then Mallory gives her this look, like so smooth in the middle of everything, to like, no, sit with us, take some notes. And they keep communicating with each other like silently throughout. And then, Nikki obviously gets more vocal, and she gets some great work in this episode, man. With the wheeling and dealing with the husbands and wives was just fantastic. And I love the play of, all right, I'm not gonna warn Jen of all this online rhetoric and bullshit, and then it immediately snap cuts to her like leaving her a voicemail. And I mean, come on. If TJ, bro, if I found some hate on the internet about you, obviously you can't turn into a giant sexy green woman, but
Are you sure?
I'm not sure. But if you could, and you didn't do that for me when I visited you in Canada for your wedding, I'd be even more hurt than you already have made me this episode. So let's hope for your sake that that's not true.
Tough. I actually don't want to talk too much about that yet because that ties into my theory later. And so I want to kind of move past that one a little bit.
My bad. My fault, OG.
No, you're good. You're good. It's a perfect time to bring it to the next part because it's another part of this. And I think I'm really just going to get into it now, and I just want to lead fully into it because there are more pieces, and that's Intelligentsia, which is an agency that eagle-eyed Twitter users noticed that we actually have first seen in Avengers: Age of Ultron. This isn't the first time we've seen it, and it was an agency in Tony Stark's Ulysses Claw files that it said that Claw was formerly a member of Intelligentsia. And so that is something, so we can kind of know right off the bat who the type of people we're dealing with are. But it's interesting, like you said, with that organization that that like Nikki was like, best friend, I'm telling you right away, even though that Mallory suggested that it was not a good idea. Now, Mallory Book, she's been a super cool character, very interesting. I kind of have theory A, theory B with her. I have a galaxy brain one and then a kind of surface one. And the surface one is she seems like a pretty great candidate for a Skrull. This is something I talked about with Jade, who is she's come on as a host of our podcast before, and she has been doing some awesome stuff with Ethan Simmy's two podcasts, 15 Minutes of Marvel and 24 Minutes A24. This one was her theory, and I think that's kind of reasonable. But I did have something that is a little less reasonable, but a little more fun as well. And Mallory, when we met her, she wanted nothing to do with Jen. She was like, "Ugh, I'll represent you, but this is just business. I don't like you." And she gradually kind of decided out of nowhere, other than, yes, of course, seeing her experiences, but she really started opening up to her. Really started opening up to her. And we've seen this quest for Jen's blood right from the get-go now. And I'm kind of wondering if Mallory is a part of it and she really doesn't like Jen and is just playing the acting lawyer card a little bit here. And she's actually part of the quest to kind of help get her blood. That's why she didn't want to tell her about Intelligentsia. That's why we had the quick flip of the script from "I want nothing to do with you" to "Yeah, I am getting a drink with you. I'm hanging out with Nikki all the time, but you're still not going to know anything about me. And now she mentioned being married, and if you want to take it even another level, my like crazy, real crazy connection that I think could be the case is, what if her partner in marriage is Val? What if she is married to Val, and Val is doing all her Thunderbolt stuff and could use some She-Hulk blood, and Mallory already can't stand Jen, and finally was just decided to basically say, screw it, I'm in. Zen, I'm throwing it to you first, then I'll get Caesar's, then I'll get Garrett's. What do you think of this theory?
That's crazy.
Whoa.
But to be honest, if that's true, I would not be surprised.
Right.
Like she gives those vibes to me, like somebody who's has ulterior motives. Like even from the beginning, the way she looked at Jen when she first walked in
She was hating.
in the lawyer agency, like it's I feel like it's some there, and it's what's the word? It's precedent for it from the comics, like them having some type of tension. You know what I mean? So like that being, I would not be surprised at all. At all.
I don't even know what to say about that. That was a really good one.
Nah, facts.
Because I didn't even think you were going to say Val. To be honest, I thought you were going to say, what was I going to say? The leader. Like, what if she's married to the leader?
The leader couldn't pull Mallory.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Hey,
honestly,
she's into the brains.
that would make more sense, and the leader to me seems like the most logical person that is searching for her blood. Like that adds up the most to me.
Right.
But again, maybe the leader's part of
I wasn't even thinking in
hierarchy.
I felt like she was fishy. Right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
You can get the vibe that something was off on her, because why were you mad at Jen? You know, like why did you have a problem with her unless it was the energy thing? We didn't get too much of that.
Right.
And many scenes with them to even for that to make sense. So I knew something was up, but whoa, you might have cracked the egg right there. It's something.
Here's the thing. I love a power couple, especially if that power couple is filled with two power ladies.
That's all right.
However, I don't think I am a fan of another, like, of pulling down the strong female woman into like villainy. Because there's such strong themes of like these fucked up men doing these fucked up things every episode, and like it feels like a little bit like it would be undercutting that if at the end, you know, we have Mallory who flips a switch. But I gotta say, TJ, I love how your mind works. You continually everybody shoots, everybody misses, but on average, your theories that you like just randomly drop on me on live episodes, they often are very good and make you think for a while. And overall, I'm a fan of it. I don't know, you know, if I think that's what's going to happen or not. Overall, I'm a fan. I still don't like the idea of a strong female character being pulled that way, but you know, there's a way to pull it off where it works too. So I guess we'll see.
It would have to be done in the lens of we're using these idiots to pull off our goal, which we specifically feel is moral and just for our cause. But the rest of the things I want to cover before we wrap up today are specifically wedding related. So we get fun, drunk Jen dancing. We get her and Titania fighting as she finally suits up as She-Hulk. Another person I was potentially wondering, two more people that I'm potentially wondering are involved in this end of episode surveillance, the hunt for the blood, are three. Here are your three options, and I want each of your takes. Titania, the obvious one. They're fighting. She's following her around. She wants it for whatever reason. Maybe it's to enhance herself. Whatever it is. She has the money to pull it off. It makes sense. Two, boots on the ground. Somebody trying to make it work. They need to get her in a location. Her high school best friend. The agency reaches out to her high school best friend. She's jealous of the attention that Jen is now getting. Therefore, they reached out to her to try and pull this off. And number three, this perfect man that is flirting with Jen. Jen's flirting back. He doesn't want her for She-Hulk. He wants her for Jen. Is it too good to be true? Garrett, I'll start with you on this one. What do you think of these three people? Are all three involved? What do you think?
Not Josh and Sin. Finally we see Jen get to be a little bit happy. We get to see Jen appreciated for who she is, not also for She-Hulk, but mostly for herself. So obviously when that happens, it does feel a little bit too good to be true, but I hope that that's not the case. Titania doesn't feel right to me. You're right. Everything you said was accurate, but it just doesn't make sense for her to continually like publicly push her in these ways if like behind the scenes she's trying to do all this stuff too. And I don't think she's smart enough to be like coordinating all this stuff. And then Lulu, definitely don't think it was Lulu, but I just gotta go on a Lulu rant, on a fuck Lulu rant, because what kind of lady is like, oh, hand it to Jen, she'll do the dry cleaning for like all the groomsmen who are just playing Nintendo Switch, like, and all the other bridesmaids who are going along with it. Like, what are you guys doing? What is that? Where's the unity? What is that? I was aghast. TJ, had you made me do that at your wedding, I would have been, once again, a ding for every time I say this on this episode.
Please iron all of the
steam all the shirts for the boys, the vests. It's criminal.
In front of his face too. Just, here you go. Here's your shirt.
Yeah, drop
shirt.
it on me. Crumble it up as much as you can, and then give it to me, and then saddle me with the leaking dog. Yeah, I don't know.
The damn dog.
Yeah. Jonathan, the dog.
What if
Jonathan.
I would have asked you to walk with Obi-Wan?
Oh, that would have been an improvement. Not an not an improvement on the person I walked with, but a dog as an improvement is in anything. I'm gonna shut up now. Please, someone take this away from me.
Though you did so good.
I really appreciate all the help from everyone.
Oh, that's amazing. You want to go? You want me to go?
You can go first.
All right. I don't want it to be the guy, y'all. Like, can she be happy?
I'm gonna keep it. I'm right with you. I think it's him. Though, but yeah,
it's him.
He's too perfect.
It's too perfect. It's like, damn, she just gonna have to get Matt. She gotta wait for Matt.
Also, my girlfriend is Asian, so she can say this, but she was like, when you hire the Asian guy for a role, he's probably going to have to kick some ass. And I was like, damn, you just said that. So she was like, I don't trust him. But she said that, not me. I just want to say she said that, not me.
Oh, you confirming it more.
Garrett looks over and just like got a nod from Nina that it was okay there.
She has her headphones in, so we'll see in a couple days. But pray for me, boys.
Yeah, good luck for you, man. Good luck. But I just feel like it's him. I hope it's not. But honestly, even if you look at like what's happened in other couple episodes, people were speculating that Todd, was that his name, Todd? Mm-hmm. That she went on a date with was also one of the wrecking crew. People, break down photos and stuff, and it just seemed that way when he popped back in to the office, right? Yeah. So like, yeah, somebody in that crew is trying to get her. In my mind, he's just a part of the wrecking crew, but he's doing something to hurt her.
Right. Because I agree with that. And I'm also thinking if it ever gets confirmed that Todd is part of that, it's like a conspiracy against her. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they went to the trial last episode, got information and just passed it on to Josh. All right, so she's having dating issues. Perfect guy. You know what I mean? Like,
you got it right. Set it up to the wrecking crew?
Set it up, Oh, so, but no, I really feel like he's probably the most, the one it's him. It's him.
Unfortunately, I hope not, but it's pointing towards him.
A quick point I want to make before I forget and get your take on the next two people. I want to know, Jenna Anderson, former guest of the pod on Phase Zero today, made a amazing point that I hadn't realized, that Nikki, the character from comics, who's Jen's best friend, that a lot of people kind of think Nikki may have some characterizations based on, in comics died in a car crash. And so when she was driving today telling Jen about the intelligentsia,
It
I feel
looks
like
like
a
a
lot
car
of us
crash.
were already
Hey,
worried that
oh,
like something bad was about to happen. And like
yes.
in comics, Jen's best friend died that way. So I guess the hardcore comic fans were even more worried than we were watching that scene. But like, while that guy may have been too good to be true and we don't want him to be bad, but he might be, protect Nikki and protect Pug at
Dang.
all
Sure.
costs.
Oh,
Wow, I can't believe you just dropped that on me. I wish
that
I could
hit.
have got through the rest of this episode without knowing that. That's
Oh,
The
that's a
way it was
bummer.
happening, it really did
it
feel
looked
that
like
way
a car
though. I
crash.
did
But
I'm
feel
like,
that.
so when
it's
is
a
it going
bummer
to hit
because
her?
she's still here. She's still here.
True.
Yeah,
You know.
it's hard to make the death of a best friend funny. So let's
Yeah.
hope that
Yeah, honestly.
Right, how are they going to twist that up, right? Oh man, you're gonna have Titania come in like, oops. Like that doesn't. I don't think that works that way. I don't think it works.
no, I can't believe you just said that.
What? Girl,
Oops.
no,
That's a life. You just took a life.
that's life. Oh goodness.
So it
Oh,
might not work
no.
for Titania to come in and drop the oops, but do you guys think it works for Titania to be involved in this hunt for Jen's blood?
Ready? I might throw something at you. I don't know if she is right now, but I could see her become that happening because I could also see eventually she getting into like the Thunderbolts or something. So maybe some connection comes at the end. I
Right.
can see.
Because she's not gonna take what happened to her at that wedding.
No, she
That's coming back.
not even just the wedding, everything.
Yeah.
Then the wedding.
People was recording that.
Oh
That's
my
on
god!
the internet already.
When she ended
So
on her
it's like-
face, I out loud was like, "Oh my god!" So yeah,
The veneers.
yeah,
yes,
she messed
all
with the veneers. I was like, dang.
Oh,
And then she said, "You're gonna show that to your 11 Instagram followers." I was like, "Damn!" She came out.
Yeah, she was.
Oh,
Yeah.
big hurt.
It's all her fault. She
It is
started
her
this.
fault. It is
True,
She-Hulk
True.
ended it, you know?
petty,
Now,
It really
it
is.
is,
so petty.
it is so petty. Speaking of petty, was Lulu involved? There's Obi-Wan.
Oh.
Speaking of petty, you gotta go pet him so he is angry.
Oh, bar him up. Good ball. You
He
gotta
heard
get you a
somebody
record
at the
deal.
door, and there was a dog outside. He had to go check it out. He never barks on his own, but as soon as he hears Sonic gives one bark, he just
Yes.
figures, "Oh my goodness, I got to be doing this too. Me too."
I gotta go let those other animals know that I have the high
Come on,
ground
me?
at all times.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm gonna communicate.
Respect.
But now honestly, kind of what Garrett said about Titania. Actually, I just not Titania.
Lulu.
Yeah, I just don't think I don't know if she's smart enough to do all that. It doesn't come off that way.
Yeah.
But I don't mean to be rude, to the character, but she don't seem like the brightest in the bunch. So
But she did say she banged Edward and
she did.
what's his face from the Twilight.
Yes, and Edward and come on, we're there. We're right there.
Jacob, thank
Jacob,
you. I knew
there
it was
we
a
go.
J, but I was thinking Jason. But I was like, it's definitely not Jason.
Jason, no. But yeah, you know what? So maybe I have too much doubt in her.
Yeah. They're always the
never
ones.
I don't
You
think
You
she's
know
a
what? It is the ones you
mastermind, but I
doubt.
could-
always
It is
that.
always the ones you doubt.
I don't think
Which is
she's a
why.
mastermind, but I could definitely see her being a foot soldier. But either way, we're going to be finding out a lot more in these next few episodes. And another person I'm hoping we see at least once more in the next few episodes is Patty Guggenheim's Madison, who you can find her interview with the Agents of Fandom up on agentsoffandom.com, as well as the David Hayter interview we dropped today. And the next ones we have coming are The Sandman's David Buckley, the composer of the score, as well as Dante Bosco, who played Rufio in the movie Hook, as well as Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender, General Iroh in the remake. So make sure you check that out. Like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and check out our Andor review with Phase Zero's Jamie Jirak. Before we get out of here, guys, I want to know the Listen 3000 crew, Cesar and Zen. Tell us about your pod and let the people know where they can find you.
Cool. Our pod is one. Before we do that, thank y'all. We appreciate you.
No,
guys.
for sure.
Y'all are awesome. It was so much
We-
Thank
fun.
you.
yeah,
we're
I-
definitely gonna have to make this happen again. We
Come
kind
on.
of
Yeah, we
ripped
can do
through a
that.
quick
let's do
one.
it.
We ripped through a quick one today. We're gonna have to have you guys back
Go
on
more
when
in
we can
depth.
have more time,
Please,
get a
please.
deep dive on something, maybe a movie review, something like that.
That'd be
Let's
awesome.
do it,
Come on,
yeah.
come on, let's do it.
Yeah, I like that. But the vibes have been immaculate, so we got to keep that
course.
up because we were
Always
feeling
fun.
tired, but I'm feeling a lot more energized now.
Man, hey.
Same boat. Same boat.
Put the applause. Yes, thank you. But yeah, what we do, we're Listen 3000. I'm Cesar Zenn.
Yes.
Yeah, we are, comic book content, comic book movie content, movie
Film
content in general,
content,
film in
music
general,
content, yeah.
shows, music. Just we both do music on our own time as well, so it's kind of a mix of everything, just from artist perspective, but all the stuff that we love to talk about. So yeah, if you want to check us out,
Yeah, it's Listen 3000 on all social media except for TikTok, which is Listen 3K Podcast. And yeah, follow us and check us out. We do the pod every bi-weekly, so we're here. YouTube,
Yep,
podcast, subscribe, like and comment, all that good stuff.
Yeah, plug your own socials too, real quick, so they can find you guys and your music and stuff.
Thank you, appreciate that. I am
Yeah.
Caesar. So I'm sorry. Words, Jesus. Caesar of Forever, but it's spelled CESAROF 4VR. But that is Caesar of Forever. And to follow Forever as well, the duo I am in.
And I am Army Zen, so that's Army Zen on Twitter, Instagram, everything.
Two N's.
Yeah,
that is
2
the
N's. Yeah,
regular way,
yeah,
but
right.
yes.
Army ZENN.
There you go.
And follow 7 Minutes to LA, which are producer collective, which is 7 Minutes to LA on that as well.
Forever is WEAREVR. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. Yep.
Hell
Awesome.
yeah. And we will definitely make it happen again to link up in the future. And everybody who's listening, make sure you check that out. On behalf of myself, TJ Zwarich, my co-host Garrett, our incredible producer Ruben, thank you so much for joining us this week. We will be back next week with our friend Rob from Streamer doing a dual episode breaking down She-Hulk as well as episode 4 of Andor. So make sure you join us for that. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Peace.
Peace.